Welcome to the Rebel Matriarch podcast. My name is Samantha Sanford and I am your host, and I want to invite you into this session with an open heart and an open mind, because this is not just a podcast. It is a global movement, a global uprising, and this is a representation of what is truly possible and available to women today. Hello, gorgeous women of the Rebel Matriarch podcast. I am Samantha Sanford and I am your host, and I am very excited to be bringing to you today an extraordinary woman, Andreea. And she has got so many stories that I'm ready to dive into, and she's going to be taking us on a really beautiful journey that I feel, without even knowing what the journey is, I feel like so many women are going to be able to resonate. And so I really want you to tune in to the magic, the medicine, the codes that she's going to be bringing. And it's all going to come together right at the end with this extraordinary book that she's putting together that I feel like almost every woman needs to get their hands on. So, Andreea, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be sharing your beautiful energy, your beautiful face, and your beautiful journey.
Thank you. It seems such a beautiful partnership and communion between your body of work and what I'm doing, and it was like this instant melting. You know, I have a vision about us women struggling to leave the isolation, and allow other people to put their magic and build a beautiful part of our tapestry, like, which is our lives. Like, you bring your colors into my tapestry and I bring my threads into yours.
What a beautiful visual. I love this. That's gorgeous. And can you, because I feel like there's a lot there, and I'd love for women to really start to receive some of your medicine. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are now? And then I'd love to hear the story and the journey of how you got to here.
I am an artist, a mother of a 15 years old son who is like developing beautifully, and it's beautiful to observe how he's like seeking for himself. And it's one of my biggest accomplishments to see him being free and allowing himself to be who he is. It's beautiful, and it gives me the space to do my work, like somehow the freedom, like I've done that part, and now I can dedicate to my path and to my mission. I've been working with women since 2021 in different transformational programs on different paths and different topics. But usually everything which I'm doing has to do with the feminine journey at different stages. So motherhood, relationships. But now I am addressing women, soul-led women, who also want to share their story, and they are the beginning, and they have that unreadiness, like helping them feeling the unreadiness, the the perfectionism, the waiting, healing the waiting.
Yes. I love this.
Yeah. So and get visible, like tap into their magnetism, tap into their healing their voice, and allowing themselves to show up with authenticity, allowing themselves to make mistakes, to be ridiculous, until they get to, because we have this language, this common language, you and I, like the nonchalance code, which is a very, very beautiful one. And it's something that people connect to easily, especially that we want it or not, we are not McDonald's providing service for everyone. We have to become the stars of our business. We want it or not, we have to.
I love.
So this is it. We can't avoid it. We want to create the deep connection with people. We want to speak on our language, on our authentic language. And on this journey, we have to decondition the languages and the labels that others put on us. This is my voice, and because I found mine, I can help you find yours. That's it.
Isn't that exquisite? I love this. And I know that so many women don't take up space, and they inch for a little bit of taking up space, and then they apologize for it. And I love that what you're doing is giving women permission to take up space loudly, unapologetically. And then I love that you were like,
Widely.
yes. And then I love that you were like, and make mistakes and be silly, because it's like, okay, I'll give myself permission to take up space, but I can't look a fool. And it's like, no, look a fool, like have fun doing it. And so it's just, I love the energy that you're bringing and what you're providing for women. And I think this is so beautiful. But I'm curious to know, because we don't often start out this way, right? You've got this beautiful
Yeah.
confidence. You know yourself. You've gone through the fire of your becoming, and now you're helping other women too. What did this look like way back when? And I don't even know how far we need to go back to understand your story fully.
So my feeling when I was born, I had the feeling that life like laid a red carpet for myself, because I was born, as I said, in pre-communist Romania, right? In a very big family, when a lot of aunts and aunties, aunts and uncles didn't have children. Like they were like siblings from my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather, and they put so much attention on me. So I was the princess. I was their, their God sent little miracle, and that was very beautiful. That I think that boosted me with a lot of confidence on one hand. But there was, and that's why I call it a golden wand in my book. That was the golden wand, because you cannot see it, because I got so much attention, so much love, so much support. Everybody was focused on me. But then there was the biological fathers abandoned. There were the separation from parents. There was a mother who was trying to keep the balance between what the family was doing and trying to be strict, not be to get spoiled. And then the cherry on the was like the icing on the cake, or cherry on the cake, was that they put me to a school with very high standards on a very I was sixth. And that was the moment, like, because I was not raised by my mom. I mean, like, my mom contributed and she was present, but I lived with my grandfather's sister, who was like such a nonchalant person. This is the code, and she allowed me to dance at 11 p.m. on the table. And she allowed me all this wildness, that supported me so that I could show it later. But then everything finished when I went to my mom's house. I started living there. I went to a school where there was a lot of pressure. On the top of that, I studied music, so everybody was going home, and I needed to go to the music classes and all so on. So living under this pressure. So it was like fall from paradise, fall from Eden. Yeah. And between 6, 7, and 11, that was the moment of sadness, the moment of feeling unseen, which I had to heal later on. So those 4 or 5 years before I got rid of this primary school teacher who was obsessed with her work, I could really make a movie. She would come to our house to see if we were studying and all this kind of like ridiculous things. Yes, she was over invested into her work. She didn't have children of her own, and she thought that she was doing good things. And parents were very flattered that, oh my God, the teacher is so involved. Oh, she has to do this. And the title of my book, and actually the title of my website, which I'm building, and the whole branding thing, The Playful Goddess, is actually alchemizing a wounding, because there was no time to play for me as a child, which is absolutely striking, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching my friends, like we had a shared courtyard, like we lived in a house. I was watching my friends, how they were playing. And I was like frozen, because it was not something I could do. I mean, of course I could have, because even on summer holiday, I had 30 books to read and to make reports. Of course I had time to play. But for me, the memory of Sunday evening, like when the school started, it was like a freezing moment. And this is probably led me to my first mystical experience when I was about 8. Like, because parents offer me support. Financially, my father was a reputable doctor. Financially, we were okay. I was the privileged child in communism and early post-revolution in Romania. So I was privileged and I had everything. So I had to give back so much. The pressure was too much, oh, she's so cute and so lovely and so smart and she has to be perfect, blah 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 blah, like this identification which did. And my father was a well-known person. Everybody knew me wherever they see me, so I couldn't make a wrong move. So you can imagine how much pressure I had, and the mystical experience is really actually amazing, like opening something. I call it a mystical experience, and you're going to decide if it is a mystical experience or not. In our audience, the ladies who are listening to this. So I was on my great grandmother's garden. Like, she was an entrepreneur, she was
I
selling
love that.
vegetables. Yeah, like on a very, but it's nice because there was no
That's right.
entrepreneurship after her, but she had this, you know, yeah. And I after 3 days of playing with my friends, because I spent some days there in the summer holiday, I realized that we wake up, we play, and then we go to bed, and the next day I realized that there are things that are repetitive, and they begin and they come to an end. And I was watching, it was like a late sunset. I was watching the sun, and I said, I know that there is something which never ends, and I want to know what that thing is. That was it. Of course, probably the sun was the symbol of this eternal light, eternal beingness, eternal whatever a mind of an 8-year-old girl could imagine. And that was one of the moments, because I felt so isolated and so unseen, especially in school, because I was blocked, and I felt that I am behind, that because everybody was older, they were faster, they were performing well. I felt compared. It was a hell for me. Like, if I compare it with what happened after being 11 or 12, that some of my teachers found my talents and they supported me and so on. It was hell. It was like 4 years of darkness, 4 years of like, how is it, it's called a dark night of the soul, the not dark years of a soul, And before I tapped into that confidence, because I got that validation which I needed in the end. But what happened after I got this, because whenever it was difficult and I was there alone in my room, I fell in love with my solitude. I fell in love with my isolation, because in that I found solace. I connected with this beyondness, with this energy, which I knew it was me. It was not like I was praying to angels or something. I felt that powerful energy was me, and it was part of me. And that was amazing. That was orgasmic. But that created a separation wounding between me and my parents, who couldn't see me as I wanted to be seen. As a hypersensitive child, this is another code and another important part of when I'm speaking in the book about it, like a hypersensitive, hyper creative person who is not seen and understood, created a separation, which probably was never melted, no matter how supportive they were. And that isolated me in my life later on as well. So I had to break that. Because in the feminine journey, there is nothing significant is happening without partnership and communion. There is nothing. Without communion, without mutual support, you cannot shift. You can be the genius, the most talented, the most gifted person on the planet. If you cannot and it was not about trust in my case, or it was about me, because I was very much aware of my potential, but I couldn't let it out. I didn't know how. And we are speaking now approximately 40 years later, how long it took to build myself behind the scenes before I actually show up and say, this is me. There is no limit.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I probably exaggerate, because I started sharing my work with the world earlier in different ways. I am an artist as well. I had exhibitions. I sing sometimes, but I don't take it too seriously. But it is a career path I could have followed if I wanted. So yes, but it's a long time. It's a long time.
That's incredible. And I feel like you're very, for a young child, you're very deep. and very insightful, which is incredible. And so when you were going through your schooling, because you said you got to a point where some of the teachers started to notice you, they started to notice your talents and started to like focus in on that. What were some of the things that they were noticing and helping you to like cultivate?
One of the beautiful things that happened was that there was my Romanian literature teacher, a very beautiful man that probably I saw in him some beautiful aspect of the masculine. And since I had to heal my relationship with my biological father, and healing relationship with masculine is a big part of my sharing in the book. Because I associate a business with that dangerous playground when a child explores and they can find things which they are not ready for. But daddy has her back. Daddy is there. And because that energy, because yes, I had 20 people in my family who were there and they felt, but it was not my father, you know. He was like absent and then completely gone, like half absent and then completely gone. Yeah. So it's beautiful that one of the first people that saw my talent for speaking and for writing was a man, like a very beautiful person, and that I felt a beautiful connection with. So probably it was part of healing this, trusting this. And then there were like my talent for studying English, which was actually one of my passions, one of my early. So I was really a nerd.
I love
I
nerds.
started getting into reading books when I was like 14, 15. And in my 20s, I would not date a guy or go out with a guy if he couldn't prove that he read 300 books. Because
I
that
love
was
that.
something I believed in.
I love that so
That
much. So you didn't do much dating then, did you?
No, not really. No, I said no, no.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
I'm curious to know if you're willing to explore this a little bit because something I know that a lot of women have, and a lot of women don't realize they have this, but there is a really big father wound because just if we go back, in history, so we've got our generation, then you go back to our parents' generation and then our grandparents' generation. The way that it works is that it was very common for the father figure to be almost disconnected from the family because he was the provider and he was doing all the things. And so I feel like there's a lot of disconnection between women and their fathers and their grandfathers because there was almost like a disconnect because that's how we were raised, right? And so women are walking around with this constant need to prove and this constant need to like show up and like be perfect and like get good grades and like, look, I picked a good man, or maybe I didn't pick a good man, or, look, I got good grades. I bought a house. Like they're constantly looking for their father's approval without realizing that they're doing it. And so when you touched on needing to heal that father wound, I feel, or the masculine wound, I feel like this is a really important conversation for women to hear.
Yes, the coding that comes from the story, my story with my father, was actually not, I'm not sure that I felt the need to prove. I had already a lot of other people to prove myself in front of because they invested in me. I don't think, honestly, I investigated this a lot, and it's and anti-procrastination is something which is very deeply connecting with that. So I'm writing about that in my book because it's connected with the weakness that I felt in my father. My latest memory with him was that we were in a sweet shop. I was about 7. He came to see me. My mother already met my future father, my stepfather, who was an amazing role model. I want to speak about him because he was a soulmate, a role model, a supporter. He was the person in my family who saw me the most because he was highly educated, and he was crying when he was reading my poetry. Like, he was a highly sensitive person. And yes, thanks to him, I had beautiful relationships in my life with men. But the absence of my father affected me in the business. I was playing the abandonment game in my business. It was not reflected in my relationship so much, but it was there. So that's why I want women to know that they have three spiritual paths in their lives. Like one of them is relationship with men. Second is relationship with children, which will trigger a lot of other unsolved things, which the relationship with men didn't. They're going to trigger other things, insecurity, fears, worries, especially because this is connected with motherhood. And then if you still haven't solved life, become an entrepreneur, and you're going to see that there is still a lot to alchemize
I love
and a
that.
lot of awareness. This is it. My abandonment issues didn't really show up so much in my relationships with men. I solved what I solved with my son, and I'm happy he was the person who taught me how to love. And I'm so deeply, because I couldn't do what I'm doing now in the way I'm doing it if I didn't have him. And then I realized that, oh my God, I'm playing games in my business. I'm playing hide and seek. It was one of the most recent, like, stop ghosting your business. It was my last workshop.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it was
Yeah.
like, oh, is there anybody who misses me here? No. Okay, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna cry that this workshop is not perfect, that I'm waiting for a genius idea too. So the people, when they see me, they're gonna, like, all this nonsense, all these stories in our head. Oh, nobody misses me. Okay. Like, I realized this game.
Yes.
And yes, you can, and I think many women do, and they don't know what's happening. There is the waiting. The waiting was connected with my father. So the weakness, going back to the sweet shop, which, like, where I ate the most bitter, like, cake with my biological father, because it was our first meeting. Why was the cake so bitter? Because his body posture was like this. I saw a defeated man. Because now, to make it, like, more juicy, the man who was supposed to become my stepfather wanted to adopt me, and he had to pay for it. So I had in front of me a man who compromised himself, giving up on his daughter, and a weak man. And I projected that so much on some of my partners or other people, like, I would not pronounce those words. I would not offend that person. But in my energy, I saw that weakness. I projected that fear that men are weak, and men, they will not hold me. They will not hold this richness. They will not hold the wholeness of who I am. They will not be able to see me. They will not be able. And I said, well, yes, I'm going to be in this relationship, but it's not complete. It's not this, it's not that. So I had to build that partnership within myself when it was not working outside. And I think this is the best thing we can do.
What does that look like, building a partnership with yourself?
It has to look in self-love, in all the possible ways we can love ourselves. Allowing ours, and I think that one of the most difficult pillars to build on a feminine journey is allowing ourselves to be seen and allowing ourselves to receive. This is it, because this is the ego death, in a way. Like, from the spiritual perspective, if we are bringing in spiritual perspectives on a feminine journey, like, allowing yourself to be seen and make mistakes, and, like, let people giggle, on you being imperfect and done. And because when you are seen, actually you're receiving, because you can receive love, you can receive money, you can receive criticism, you can receive judgment, and that's it. You have to pick it up from there. Yeah. So this is the partnership, but the partnership with yourself will never happen, because we need isolation. We need not isolation. We need solitude to get to know ourselves, to protect, to create boundaries, because there are people who do not have good intentions. They cannot contribute to our journey, to our story, and that's it. But then, for me, in my case, it was too much. It was too much of it. And moving, like, I had another, like, trauma to fix, like, leaving everything dying and moving into a completely different country where I had so many friendships there. It was a sort of that. I'm very grateful I did it. I was so scared. I was so scared that I cannot tell you. And my son was like 2 years old, so that was like such a leap of faith, And I think that that felt so scary that I don't think I can ever experience that in my business, So everything seemed a little bit less like, investing money into something or saying some things which may trigger people or, yeah.
Amazing. So you took a big leap of faith when your son was 2 years old and you moved countries
Yes.
for you moved.
So for the relationship I'm still in, like to be with my partner, and we raised our children together. He also had older children from previous marriage, and yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it, absolutely. Like we are having fun.
I loved it.
And he's a very supportive person, and a very like reverent towards my feminine energy and what I bring into this world. So
I love that. Did you meet him because you said that you spent a lot of time in solitude, because this is the way. I feel like more women need to spend time in solitude, just like you said, because I feel like we spend too much time avoiding ourselves because it can be uncomfortable to sit in witness of ourselves. Did you meet your now partner like after you had spent time in solitude, getting to know yourself, self-love, or is it part of the journey?
yeah, that's constant part of the journey, and he understands. He had to understand. He's an artist archetype too. Like he has many attributes and he's a person who he's not. He's a man who is more inclined for partnership than I am, a little bit more. But because he has his own hobbies, his own passions, he can put his energy there and have fun, without needing my presence so too much. Because I said it from the beginning, I'm a weirdo. I am investigating. This is my work. I have to understand this being. And from understanding this being properly, my mission is to share my discoveries with other women. And this is my work. I am my work. This is my playground. This is my battlefield.
Gotcha.
So I have to be present there. And somehow he got inspired to also pick up on my journey and pick up on my mind and brain. And somehow it taught him to be more in solitude himself, up to some level. Because it's not on the feminine journey, nothing is separate. Everything we do impacts the relationships, the children, our health, our business, our money. It's a fluid universe. It's not like life-work balance. I mean, are you joking? Like, what is this?
I don't know. I like the fluid concept though. So then how did you get from you were in school and you were exploring yourself, exploring what you're passionate about? What happened when you left school, and how did you get from school to where you are now?
Okay, you mean school like university, right? Or something like this? Or
well, yeah, you can go to university, but we were talking about you being
pre-teenager.
Yeah, pre-teenager, and then your
Pre-teenager.
starting to discover, and you were starting to discover, and then what happened from there?
Yes. So one day it was like, I think, I don't know, probably a few months after I got my period or something like this. The primary teacher, the weird primary teacher disappeared from my life. Of course, I had a teacher for all subjects, right? And I had discovered some of my hobbies, like starting reading, not so much at that because I was like 12. And I found myself, like I watched myself in the mirror and I really literally told myself, I like you.
I love that.
It was this dialogue. You are cool, something like this. I didn't use the word cool because I maybe didn't use it at that time, but something like this. something like this. You are cool. There is something amazing about you. But with that curiosity of, I really want to discover that wild, it was like a wild energy there, a wild frequency. There is something wild in you and I want to see it. It's like there was that partnership with myself, like, and and I appreciate, I think that I would estimate that since then my life was, I perceived myself successful in school. I was not the best student, but I had subjects in which I was like shining and I was like inspirational for other people, and boys liked me, and everybody was, um, everybody, like, let's say, enjoyed my company, and I had nice relationships. But still there was, since I was moving towards teenaging, um there was something insatiable in me, probably since I had that mystical experience that I couldn't define, that there was something in me that was always hungry, and nobody was able to fulfill that hunger. That I think it was hunger for my own truth, hunger for discovering who I really am. And also, the more I was growing, um I also accumulated, there was the mix of enthusiasm to discover when I got into mysticism and started at 16, 17, psychoanalysis and all the deep stuff. And then I studied philosophy, yeah, in university. It's, trying to find some answers, and it was a good exercise to have critical thinking and to be analytical, because it's a good skill, I think. So I would say there was an ascending path, but also, as I said, there was something in me that was always hungry, and it stayed like this for a very long time. Like, I felt, at the same time, I felt that yes, I can find a partner, I can have a pleasant relationship, but this is not it. It's like, that's not the climax, that's not the orgasm.
We can do better than
There
this.
is more.
Yes, yes.
I'm clone, but something is missing. And of course, there were aspects of it, and there were layers of it. I think that there is another metaphor which I like to use with dialogue with my clients. No, we have to allow ourselves to remove the condom on our hearts, because we
Wait. We have to allow ourselves to remove the condom.
remove the condom from our hearts,
Let me
like
just
to
sit with that
just
for a
let
second.
it
That's
dissolve.
freaking amazing. I love that. Yes, we do.
Yes, in relationship with ourselves, like to see to allow ourselves to see ourselves in the most uncomfortable positions, and also to allow others to see us. And for me, it was like going back to human design, because I know that many people will connect to that or relate to that more or less. And if they don't, I invite the ladies who are listening, to take a look, because it can be revealing. It's, I have this perfectionist and I have this coding, which is like, oh, it's not ready, it's not done, it's not fluid, and also 5 lines there. These are the people that are projected on so much, and that was one of the things that really, like, gave me a lot of trouble. Oh, you are my savior, you know my answer. And there was one aspect of my life that people came to me for comfort, and I didn't know. So my girlfriends, everybody came to me to comfort them, and I said, oh, I can do it, but then it was because, and this is how I got back to isolations. Like, it was draining. Like, people came, they had the feeling that I have some energy which they didn't have, instinctually, which was partially true, because they didn't have it, they didn't discover it yet, they haven't discovered it that far, point. So it was like, oh, like that fascination, that projection, which boosts the ego. Of course, it boosts the ego of a teenager or a young woman terribly, and also being chased by men everywhere who came with a very nice attitude, not with harassment or anything. And basically, I always had the feeling that I had to decide between engaging with people and doing my work, like doing my, trying to fulfill that hunger, which I realized that it's my job. And it's so if I can say, one of my challenges, well, like, how much can I engage in relationships of any kind, and how much time I spend with myself? Because there were always people telling me that you are neglecting me, you're not showing up, you're not calling me, we're not going out. That was one of the challenges, because when I engage with people, I say, oh, she's here, she has the answers, she's going to help us. And then it felt draining, and I couldn't say no. Yeah, I couldn't say no. It's a superpower. Yeah, this
It is the
is another
superpower.
thing which we have to learn, and we have to be like discernful about it, of course, or discerning. I think that's the correct English word.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, yes.
And for me, that was like, how am I going to dose that? And now another aspect of our lives where dosing our resources is so important. And this is actually the key. This is the key of our success. And I think this is where we stumble so much, like how much, and based on what I am spending time with me, with my body. And this is where we go to our favorite parts, embodiment practices, right?
Yes.
And the somatic practices, which is a very important part of my work. Like, I have a program which is called Bliss in My Body. It's not just the anti-procrastination part, which I describe in the book. So I have two directions with my clients. We explore the map of all the patterns that can take us away from taking action or finalizing an action, because there is a difference between perfectionism and completedness, and we have to figure that out. It's like, I put a dot. That's it. It's done. I don't care if it's perfect or not. Take it. It's done.
Yes, I love that.
It has my signature on it. Yeah. Perfectionism and completedness. Do you know what I tell my clients in our programs? I say, if your father decided not to ejaculate in the day when you are conceived, we would not speak right now.
And I'm sure he didn't wait for the
Completedness.
perfect. Yeah, he wasn't waiting for the perfect sperm. He was waiting just to complete himself.
Like, we are not ready.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. I love that. I love that. And I think we're in a, like, society, culture teaches women especially, like, that we're going for perfect in all the ways. I could list a million. So I love your distinction between perfectionism and completedness. And like, it's a really, like, when you said it, my body was like, oof, like, yes, that's it. It's not perfect. It's complete. Like, just complete it. So good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love this. And so you've been creating these extraordinary programs as you're discovering more about yourself. I love your hunger, by the way, because you talk about there's this hunger, and I don't know what it is, and I want to discover it. And I love how I feel like that you are a gift, because so many of us are completely unaware that we're hungry or that there's something missing, because we're so caught up playing by the rules. We're so caught up, feeding ourselves with, binge watching Netflix or eating food, or any sort of addiction to keep us disconnected from that hunger. And so I love how pretty much since childhood you've been so aware of this hunger that you've been carrying. And what does that hunger look like for you now? Because I imagine it doesn't go away, but you just understand it better.
Yes, and it has different nuances, and it transitions through different stages according to where I am in my feminine journey. I think the hunger to share myself with others. But before that, what I had to fix, the coding I had to fix, was to receive, and to connect with the belly, and to connect with that belly, which basically this umbilical cord, this is where we receive nourishment from our mothers, right? And this is where we connect, Yes, of course, there is the sacral part as well, which is very important to tap into and to go deeper into it. But there's this, like, this is it. And this is our fire. And this is how we ignite our fire, and in all the ancient, like in Taoism and in martial arts and all, like, this is it. This is the fire. This is what keeps us in. This is where enthusiasm lies. Like the frequencies of enthusiasm are here in the belly, the butterflies, and also there are the butterflies, and there are also the, how's it called? It's like the fire and um how people in Qigong, for instance, like they create that ball of energy, which then you can take and then you can heal yourself. I love Qigong, this is something which I do. One of the many somatic practices I do. Yeah, and that's the enthusiasm. And this is a very high frequency. Joy and enthusiasm are codes that people miss. That's why they cannot move. And the where the inner child resides. That's why I was searching for. This is the energy of our inner child. And our inner child is hungry and curious and adventurous and wants to discover and moves through lives with curiosity, if of course it's safe and it's like nourished and so on. This is the inner child. This is what moves us forward, like curiosity. And what's next? And what else is possible?
I love.
How can we play more? How can we play more? And I want to speak a little bit about the playful goddess.
Yes,
Yeah,
please. Yes,
because
yes.
it's who is the playful goddess, and why am I addressing it? And of course, the playful goddess is connected with the playful child, right? It's connected with this child who plays and discovers and is nonchalant, very important. But then, if we go through our journey and if we go through those steps of connecting with the bodies, connecting with emotions, stop avoiding, being present, and which help us make and create partnerships, connect with other women, because this is shift. There is no shift without partnership. I spoke about it. It's clear, no matter how amazing you are, because we need that mirroring a lot, and that reflection and that heart connection, which makes the whole difference and makes everything juicy and pleasurable. Pleasure, another code for us.
I love this
So the
feminine
playful
journey.
goddess, yes, so the playful goddess is a versatile being. It's like a creator in all its power. Like she knows that she can play all the roles, but she will not identify to give herself the space. She will not identify with the roles anymore. I'm a mom. I can be a wife. I can be a mom. I can be a lover. I can be an entrepreneur. But I will not get into that rigidity to identify, because I want to stay fluid. I want to stay playful. I want to always bring freshness into my work, into my life, creativity, everything, because staying fresh is one of the secrets of us to stay long in our game, in our business game, in our relationship game, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
she's fresh. Yeah. And a lot of people say, oh, why did I get stuck? Well, you have there, if I get into dialogue with you, we're going to see how many things you identify yourself with. You have to let go of that. Okay, let's say you want more money, you have to like let go of all those identities, the person who performed last week, last month, the program. And I developed it. I want to bring up a very important aspect. It's like, which kept me stuck in the business at the beginning, because I missed my friends. I created this beautiful online bonds with my first client, with my first micro community. At that point, I was addressing Romanian women. Of course, I was still very connected with that, let's say, collective energy and everything. And I couldn't shift to, it took me a long time to say goodbye to some of those relationships. Of course, we are still friends, we're still connected, but I was so stuck in nourishing them and in providing to them, though they didn't, some of them required, some of them, they also had very strong attachment to me, because I have this strong mother energy and they were dealing with mother wounding. So there was some equation there to be fixed, but it was not, it was my issue as well to create that attachment to clients, which didn't allow me to grow. It is important to acknowledge that.
Yes, definitely. Can you share a little bit more about the attachment aspect, because I feel like this is something that women do, both like the attachment to identities and then also the attachment to like wanting to be needed or needing to be needed.
Yes, yes, that's it exactly. In my case, the projection came from, of course, being starting something new. You invest the people who pay you for the first time and trust you for the first time with a lot of power. You say, oh, you trusted me, oh my God, it's like I owe you, I provide you advice for the whole life because you are the first person who trusted me. So this is like the need for validation, like to decode the what is behind the so we had to fix that. It's like we have to slowly remove that need for validation, and also missing my friends and my family, because I built imagine I had a 6 months program. We would meet every Thursday. After we finished, she said, now on Thursday I want to connect on Zoom. I missed it. They were telling me. So it was like a family. We were like a family. We knew so much about each other in that program. So we confessed, we became vulnerable. So of course there were some attachments, but for me it was like I I was lucky that some of my clients were recurrent, and they kept buying from me different type of one-to-one or this, but yes, because I missed my family, and my isolation didn't allow me to build meaningful, deep relationships, offline relationships here for some time. Because of this high standards. Like if I cannot go, I'm not a person who just goes and wastes time, all like speak about gossip, and it's not the type of relationship that is fulfilling to me. You will either go deep with me or go home. Go
I
deep or
feel
go home.
this. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a couple of ladies that are very sweet and I like to spend time with. From time to time, we go to concerts. We have a community here where we sing sometimes, we just meet around, musicians and this. Uh, and but it's if it's not look if it's not deep, if it in my case, if it's not going deep, it's not magnetic, there is not enough source energy to maintain that connection, so it like fades away. Yeah, because yeah, so and I'm happy I found such person. Like I have such a lady now that I developed some deep connection with. But because I didn't do that, I was like my clients were my friends as well, And this is something which we do, and it's okay, but you have to be aware of how it keeps you stuck, how it keeps you caged, how it keeps you stuck, and be graceful about that. Like yes, we're gonna keep those connections. We can have a chat once in a while, update each other with what's happening. It's beautiful. I can invite them to my programs, like to my somatic programs, to my free things, just to stay in touch. So that's okay. So it took me a while. And also I felt that, I had another resistance on the way, that my soul was calling me to open up to a larger audience, a wider horizon, like international, because that's like I always felt good with people from other countries. I remember I was so proud, like I was 12 and I could already speak English fluently, though nobody cared about English at that time. Like people were just after the revolution and said, she's crazy, she's studying English all day. She's absolutely weird. Yeah.
I love your weird.
And and we went to Ukraine, like with my family, like after the revolution, we could travel finally. And I met a guy from Japan. I was 12 and he was 20. And I was talking to him, and I felt so comfortable with other people from other countries. I'd always loved multiculturality. I always felt so much at ease because I come from a city where multiculturality was a thing. Like we had 10, 11 nationalities. It's a port, like by the Danube. So that was the root. That's in my DNA, to feel good and at ease and curious about other people with different backgrounds. So yeah, but I had the resistance. Like why? English has never been a problem for me. Like why? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, but it was a thing. And I spread my wings. I allowed myself to address different types of people. I'm happy.
I love this. And then, so you went international with your business, with your offering?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And what was that like for you in terms of, because it sounds like whenever you get an intuitive hit, you follow through.
Yes, sure.
Yes, you do.
Definitely.
I love that.
Definitely. Yes, but there were some, as I say, there was different type of attachments that I had to solve with the previous clients, and also with the work that I did. And, like speaking of attachments, like 2 years ago, I lost a Facebook account with 7,000 followers just due to some stupidity. I allowed my son to use my email address. They, like sneaked in and that was a shock, and then I realized, like, and then I had to inquire, to investigate, to see, okay, why did this happen? And I said, well, I can rebuild it anytime, because it was available and I could add some of the people. But then I realized that most of the people in my list were not relevant. The universe just reminded me, hey, look, you have to move on. Yeah, it's like attachments to the work, because we do not allow easiness, because we believe in hard work. Yeah. But, and we do not allow easiness. What if it's easy? What if I need just 1,000 people in my list to find enough clients, enough audience, and build beautiful connections with people who resonate and are the right ones, right? I mean, this is it. And that was some type of conditioning that I had to go through, yeah, and overcome, because I worked so much and now I am leaving everything. And yeah, like I let go of that. It's like, it feels good.
I love how the universe, like when you get the intuitive hit, you make the commitment, you do the move, and then the universe comes in and it provides, not necessarily always the way that we want it to provide, but it created so much space for you to actually start working with the right kind of clients that you wanted to work with, which I love. And then I'm curious to know as well, because you were talking about receiving. And so a big part of, making those big, bold moves is also then receiving the support and receiving, the clients and everything like that. And I feel like receiving, as you've mentioned, is a really difficult thing for a lot of women to experience.
Yes.
What has been your experience with like your journey of receiving? And for the women who are listening who don't really know how to receive, what is like a piece of advice or wisdom that you can give them to help them start receiving, even in small ways?
I think one way to start could be more and more present in our body. I think this is what helped me. Now since I'm talking, I realize that um, it's because the body receives what we give it. The body is like a baby. And I also call it in my book, because I speak about embodiment as well, not just about the patterns of blockages which allow us, make us procrastinate. It's like our body is the biggest problem solver, the biggest problem solver. It does the best, it makes best of what you're giving it. So the body is always in receiving mode, with the nutrition, with the air, with the environment, with the movement. It receives, it processes, it gives it back. Yeah, when you need it, releases the energy. So I think this is the point. This is the focal point, the where we can learn to receive. And then going to a massage, going to a place where somebody take care of your body. I'm not very big on let's say conventional beauty things. Like, I'm very pretty much going on what's natural. But I discovered, I found a very talented lady who gives me lymphatic massage. And all for the moment I stopped going, but I went for some time, and it changed something. It moved something. And especially if you find somebody compatible, nice, like that you resonate with. Because um, so receiving, I think um, another way to connect with that receptivity, it could be fasting. This is something which I do because one of the things that stopped me to perform and continue and shift and grow was I felt that because when you start healing, the body starts showing the symptoms, right? Because we go out of the rigidity of the freezing mode. So it starts, oh, I have that pain and I have that problem and I have to fix the digestion. And I have a protocol that I use. And when we go through this program, Bliss in My Body, of complete replenishing the energy with women, and go through all these somatic practices, like a very, very big variety. I love variety, and I love to know that, oh, today I need this, today I need this, today I need a mix of this. I like this versatility and variety. So food is important, movement is important. Not comparing your body with anybody else is important. Your body is amazing and perfect as it is at any moment, and we have to have patience with it when you do something. We can also, like, for me, fasting was a game changer. Like, I mean, fasting like 2 3 days ago, I just have herbal tea and water, and that's it. And I try to be in silence. I try to be not to go too much, because this is where you have the healing. This is where you have downloads, because you are in that emptiness and you receive ideas, um, you receive sometimes solutions for things. And this is one of the things. And also, I think it goes, like, speaking about exposure, which is our issue sometimes. It's like, be ready to receive criticism and learn to dance with it, because it's going to come. Somebody will say that your big boobs are too big, that you exposed your butt, that your brow is inappropriate. There will be some men that are gonna, like, start flirting, and this and that, and
I love
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
like,
that.
like make friends with because it's another person's mind. It's not your business. It's what people have in their minds, and they are projecting on you, and that's it. um just, and I'm happy to see that there are more and more people who allow themselves to be authentic. It's happening. It's like, and I think it's so unfair. There are so many people who are getting negative because they look at politics and they look at all the 3D things, and they get hooked there, they get attached there, they get scared by the future. But there are so many beautiful things happening. There are so many beautiful people sharing their gifts, learning to be playful about life. There are ladies in the 70s and 80s who you can see them dancing and having fun, and it's amazing. This is extremely empowering for us.
Oh, this is amazing. I feel like you bring so much joy and light and possibility to just the realm of being a woman. And so I love your journey of the feminine. I know there's so many parts, so many moving parts to it. What what can women do to start to, and you've given them some amazing tips and like practices and ways of addressing themselves to start receiving. And what is it that we can do to bring more of this joy for life? Like, you have so much joy, just so much joy. And I feel like it's missing from so many women's lives because they're so busy doing their thing. And I feel like a big part of it is your exploration of the feminine and all aspects of that. So what are some of the things that women can do to start experiencing joy in life right now?
I think art is a very good way. Art is a very good way. Like, just buy yourself some pencils and like some few sheets of paper, like the bigger the better. You don't need anything complicated. Then you can like go buy yourself a canvas or something and go bigger and play and all. It's never too late. It's not about talents. It's not about, becoming a well-known artist, though you never know. That we should never put limits to ourselves. You never know what people see in you. This is the beautiful thing. And this is part of this receiving, which I was speaking. You'll never know what people receive and see in you. You just have to take the leap of faith, to take the risk to be seen. You never know how you're going to impact somebody with what you say. You will never know. And this is the beauty. This is the that ripple effect that we can bring. You never know what a person's thought like. And it happens to me. I was quite low, because before a shift there is always some things that you have to alchemize. If it's something remnant in your energy, you have to go through that, and then you can make the shift. And I found a beautiful guy who's dancing. I even posted it on my story. He's so amazing. He's like fire. He's playful. He's like, and that exactly that concentrated energy of joy, And it's like, oh, you picked me up. It was like, yeah, I needed that. Yeah. So and I watched him how nonchalantly he's doing his job, and he's speaking about how being a musician and doing things differently, and he was speaking about, and I said, this guy is doing his job. I'm going to do mine. This is it. We have to do our jobs. How many people contributed for me to be here with you now, to be in this body, to share this message? Thousands, hundreds of thousands of ancestors, people who bring my food in the store. They repair the block of flats, they repair the pipe every day. The driver who takes my son to school every day. And the unseen generosity of the universe that we do not give credit to. And we have to do our work. We have to. It's like, it's not about legacy or ego or having my book on Amazon or anything. It's like contributing, creating the tapestry, bringing your colors into the tapestry, which are unique. And so going back to this, I think that I recommend something which I do in my programs, it's something very unique. Uh, Probably many people heard of Osho, of course, and Osho's dynamic meditation. They help you connect with your inner child a lot. You start removing, especially the most. They are all dynamic, but there is one like the very dynamic, which is quite demanding in terms of a fitness. But it's worth going through it. I recommend it. You can find it online. This is something which I do with people, and it shifts a relationship with it. It awakens the inner child. You can cry, you can express those emotions, but then there is that freshness in you, that willingness to play. Dancing, for me, dancing is breathing. I just find myself dancing in the kitchen while cleaning. Oh, what are you doing, Andrea? I'm having a cleaning party. you know
That's one way to look at it. I like it.
Yeah, I have to bring this playfulness in everything I do. And sometimes, because my son is a teenager and he wants to be serious and so, oh my God, you're such a weirdo.
It's a weirdo that we love deeply.
And I'm not intimidated by him, because I know deeply he took that into himself. He has it. He has this madness, and we need madness. This is very important. We need madness to succeed. Yeah, we need weirdness to succeed. There is not enough good madness. Madness that making, as I said, making mistakes, being ridiculous, sharing your crazy thoughts, like not edit everything, like copywriting everything, and no, I wanted to share this with our ladies.
Yes.
I know it's a podcast, but I know you're gonna have a video.
Yes.
This is I think in resonance with our discussion. I shared it with you, but it was a bad picture, so now we can see it. Yeah.
It's stunning. Tell us a little bit about this.
The title of this painting is My Best Friend, Mother Earth.
That's
But
beautiful.
you can see it's like a bud, then I was watching it and I was trying to decode it myself. Basically, it has the element of creation. It has the elements, you can watch fire, earth, air with the doves. It has the partnership. It has everything. So you have everything at your disposal. There is no limitation. Just take it, try to mix it. Okay, this potion, drink it. No, it's not good. Another experiment to find your elixir for yourself and for the people you're serving. Experiment.
I love that. The Mother Earth is full of everything that we need to create our own elixir to be of service and to help ourselves as
Yeah.
well as others. That's beautiful. I love that. Like, I love the colors you've
Yes.
chosen. I love how you've put it all together. We'll have to take a photo and see if I can put it in the show notes, or we'll find a way. We'll find a way to get the
Yes,
image out there.
absolutely. I have a poor photo of that. So yeah. Yeah. This is like when I
Beautiful.
watch this painting, it activates so much in me. It's such a reminder to believe in this completedness, in the fact that our mandala is perfect. And yes, and then there is Samantha, and that she comes with her own colors and she
Yeah.
adds her own flavor to it. And then there is somebody else, and we
Gosh, I
have
love
to
it.
allow that.
I love this so
Yes.
much. And I love, and it's obviously fitting, but I love your playfulness so much. I love that you bring playfulness into all aspects of your life. It obviously ties very big into your joy and the joy that you bring. And I just, when you were saying about the gentleman that was like dancing, and he was really in his joy zone, and it came off on you, and you were like, oh, that felt really good. It just, for me, it really landed how important it is when you were saying we've got to show up and do our work, and not work as in like, go to our 9 to 5, but like what we're here to do. Like, it's so important that we're so committed to that, because we rub off on other people and our energy and our frequency and our joy. And when we're taking care of ourselves and we're in our bliss and we're joyful, like, other people naturally receive that, and then it allows them to have a more extraordinary experience of their own lives. And so you being you is creating this really beautiful ripple effect, and then you put it into your artwork, which is another opportunity for people to receive that, and then you put it into the programs that you've created, which is another opportunity, and now you're putting it into this extraordinary book, which has Playful Goddess in it. And tell us what it's called, and tell us a little bit about what it's about, so that we can get ready to buy it.
So, anti-procrastination for playful goddesses. As I said, playful goddess is our, let's say, not a destination, just a reference, because playfulness is never reaches a destination. It's ever going. So during this, I want to create that closeness with women who would recognize themselves in my pattern. So I'm speaking about the childhood and the trauma and the conditioning and all the patterns. So it is a guide as well. Like, it's really a very tangible tool, because I have this mix of going on points. I will see you. We're going to be together for minutes. I'm going to touch exactly the points where you need to work. And then we find the solution. So this is the coach in me, the person that that helps you find the solution and show you the vulnerable points. And then there is the embodiment, but there is a lot to it, because we have the environment which influences us. We have, in the book I'm speaking about, we have the perfectionist, we have the hyper creativity, we have the hypersensitivity, we have the relationship with the masculine, which allows us to show up boldly and also tap into our inner masculine as well. Because there is an extreme now of there are people who are preaching, like women who are preaching, there is not, we are complete beings. Yes, I'm leading with my feminine, of course I am, but there are moments when I have to pick myself up. I have to take initiative. I have to bring that spark. I have to, so let's allow ourselves the playfulness. It's like, take what you need from the infinity. The more that you allow to discover yourself, the more you would actually, more choices you give, and freedom. This is important, like choices. Give yourself choices. Allow yourself to have choices. Like, like let that horizon expand more and more, more and more by experimenting. So this is the two parts, like going back to the book, like if you read this book, you're not gonna have, let's say, hidden enemies who stab your back, because you fix something, and in 3 months when you have your next launch, somebody else is gonna hit on you. You don't know what it is. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's not just perfectionism or imposter syndrome. It's so much. There are so many things. In one of my workshops, it was something like where my energy is going. We discovered over 40 factors that influence the way we show up, and the energy and our stamina and our, and it's amazing. Like, of course, because my perspective is not just from working with mind and beliefs, it's also energetic. So it's really a holistic approach. Like the method which I'm using with women to overcome procrastination and give themselves time it's holistic. And I think this is the value, because I look at a person from wholeness, from in his wholeness, because I allowed myself to do this. And there is another important aspect which I want to mention in the book. So basically, what you end up with after you finish the book, I think, I'm not sure if I have it here, you end up with a big map of all, and I'm like, in my workshops, everything is very playful, and we build a colorful map of all the blockages. But then you have another paper like this with all your resources. And look, this is just the start, like, just to show you. So this is we are building the map of your blockages, as we can see, and it's color coded. What is something which is hot and it's hot, it's like dangerous, or something which you solve. And then you watch it and you keep refreshing it. When you work with yourself, it's a tool which, let's say, I created, like colorful. And then there are the things that you have and that is growing, like the resources. Oh, I found this person. They want a partnership with me. I received some money from my family. Put it there. I received this idea. Like, because we are not aware of how rich we are. This is another important thing. We do not assess our progress. That was a big one for me. Oh no, I can do it better. I know I can do it better, because always stepping into potential, into that finalized, version of myself, like distant future. No, look at this. Look how great things. And look, I managed to. I got into some loop. But I was able to overcome it in 5 hours, not in 5 months or 3 months, like it happened with depression 3 weeks ago. So the timing, it's important, like how we navigate, because when we resist, it takes longer. When we are fighting with those emotions and feelings and whatever our mind, tells us, it takes longer. And one of the things that I want to make a video about that, a short video, and post it, like, embodiment practices, they are not only healing our bodies, like everything I do, qigong, breathing exercises, conscious touching, everything which brings us our aliveness. It's not just about beauty. It's not just about being fitter. It's not just about, it creates space for the new. And we are not speaking about this enough. Embodiment practices, breathing, fasting, moving, dancing, everything that we can do together, because there's so much resources now. And sometimes you need 5 minutes. There's a Qigong exercise, and that's why I opened this free group, like WhatsApp group, for us to experiment, to play. Look, it's simple. Start somewhere. It's simple. And then you're going to get more hungry for it. You're going to see how much pleasure you feel in your body after doing it. Say, oh my God, who is this person? This body was expired. Like 3 weeks ago, I was expired. I put the perimenopause or menopause label on my. This is another one, like, yes. Everybody is speaking about menopause as some kind of scary. Oh, it's like we're going to war. We need a lot of weapons. Are you sure that this is what you want to do? I'm not denying that my body is changing, but damn, I can cope with that. And I don't want to get into this narrative where everybody is obsessed to find faults in my body and malfunctions. What if I already have the tools to navigate that? What if I know how to take care of myself and work efficiently and show up, so I can allow a day of break, a day of, just lay in bed and do nothing? And we need to learn that, right? To do nothing. It's for me with my joyfulness. Sometimes I exhaust myself. Too much jumping.
I love that. Yes.
So I need to slow myself down. Okay, have a break. Just be lazy. Just be lazy. um, yes. So this is it about the about the somatic practices. They do so much. They heal the body. They give us the vitality. They make us feel aroused by life itself and enthusiast in the fire. And there are like endless things. But one thing that we are not aware about is the fact that it creates space for the new. You empty yourselves from those toxins. You empty yourself from the data by allowing the body to process what is it there and release and let go. And that the breathing exercises which we do with the ecstatic dance and all the other practices allow us to make space because we are full. We go to thousands of courses, we go to thousands of certifications, we want to learn more, and that's okay. If this is what you need, I needed that. Not everybody needs that. I needed it. But okay, I want to filter it out. There are things that I no longer need. And as I'm decluttering my house, I need to declutter my body, not only through fast, but through high level breathing and focused breathing, which gives empty. Okay, and now I can receive you, Samantha. I don't have a lot of clutter. I can receive your presence fully, and I can receive something else. And I am present there 100% because I don't have hanging stuff.
Yes, I think a lot of women need to clean house, as in their body is a temple and they need to clean it
Yes.
and
Yeah,
create
and it's
space.
not just about, because there is also this craziness about detoxing and everything which goes into an extreme, it's a red flag for me. Like everything which goes into an extreme, yes, we need to be informed about the stages of our bodies and nutrients that we need to get. And yes, I'm grateful for all the people who are doing this work, like informative work, but don't get obsessed with it. Don't make other people wrong that have a different opinion and becoming too into polarities too much. Like, yeah, stay curious, take what you need, release the rest. It's something like this. Yes, there are things which are simple, and this is how I call the somatic practices which I do, which can change our energy and our vibe like significantly.
And if you were to share a simple somatic practice, you've kind of mentioned a few anyway, but like, anyone that's listening in and they're like, what does that look like? What could I do? Like that might take a minute. What's
Yeah,
something that they could
absolutely.
do?
So the group that I open now, which is completely free, it's called 1 Minute of Bliss because it's inspired from bliss in my body. 1 minute of bliss, exactly like this.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
love that.
yes, yes. So one of the things that you can do is just uplift your, like, some of these exercises need to stand and to move more. Some of these exercises you can really, really simply just sit on the chair. So we have two type of exercises: cleaning the chi and activating the chi, like the prana. Depends on which type of paradigm like the divine energy, the source energy in us,
Life
and give us
force. Yep.
vitality, life
Yep.
force energy. Yes. And the things that relax the nervous system. I doing this too. Yeah, I mean, like broadly, let's say, like roughly, yeah, that there are details and different, they do different things. So, and of course, that these exercises tap and clean our unconscious mind as well. Like we need to unlock those synapses too. If we go deeper, like on a let's say more like daily practice. One exercise which I love, and it's something that we can do. It's not very simple, but it can be. It has few stages, but it can be done in like 2 minutes, let's say. You can do it before going to sleep. It's also energizing and relaxing. That's why I like it. It's something that I haven't seen done a lot. It's like, I don't know, I discovered it because I like to, like, go down the rabbit hole and
Yes.
find new things. So it's something that has to do with the belly, with our belly button, which is one of my favorite parts, right? Because activates that joy and the inner child. And you are using your fingers. Like first you use this finger, and then on a second stage you need this finger, and you actually like tap it and press the belly button. Okay. So first stage is you use to tap your abdomen to make sure that you relax your abdomen. Yeah. So it's an exercise which stimulates the vagus nerve, okay, which relaxes but also gives us energy, and it relaxes the mind. So you can do it not immediately going to bed after it, but it's like 1 hour, 30 minutes. So the first part is tapping. Of course, you do a little bit of breathing before, as we know, to ground ourselves, to remove any stagnant energy, and then, so let's breathe in a little. Leave all the worries, all the toxins and everything, and then we start really tapping our abdomen, like playing, like this in a Mowgli, like the bear does, tapping its abdomen, because this is how you make the muscles relax, a little bit, because this is the success of this exercise. Is the key is to have a relaxed mind, muscles. Okay. So when you feel that you've done it enough, you take this, like this
Your two
finger,
thumbs?
the thumb, yes, the two thumbs, and you press that like this inside into it. Of course, you have to make sure you do not hurt. I don't have very long nails, so yeah, and you really press, and you press it, and you just be aware to relax the muscle, because the tendency it's going to be to stretch the muscle and strengthen the muscle. So make sure your belly is relaxed. Okay. So you do it and try to go as deep as possible without hurting yourself, of course. Okay. There is no danger, especially if you do it through the clothing. So I think, okay. So you try to press as much as possible. You go like this for 30 seconds, 1 minute. Okay. And then you do it with a longer finger. Okay. So you can use these fingers, any finger you want, it's, you have to go like this because this is the,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So now you can go even deeper, because the body will not, because the body can say, oh, what is this? It looks a little bit aggressive. And you just, the faster you go, of course, the stronger the effect, Yeah. How are you
so
feeling?
much fun. Yeah. Yeah.
It is, right?
I'm poking in my belly.
Yeah, there is the giggling effect of this.
Yes. The joy. I love it.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. I feel that, each person, if I would inquire with every person that comes into my programs, and I had the time, sure they will tell me new things. I don't know. Because for instance, now the effect of it, I feel that my metabolism has been activated. It's an effect that I was not aware of before. Yeah. Because we are working with the fire energy here. So yeah. So is it working?
Yes, it is. I love the fire energy, like working with the fire meridian and the fire energy. Yes. I think we all need a little bit of spark in our lives, don't we?
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It brings that optimist vibe, that joyful vibe, this exercise, and at the same time, that pleasure to feel relaxed. And it's an interesting combination of the two. Like I feel so relaxed, and yeah, this is one of
I
the
get what you
magic we can
mean.
do.
Yeah, you feel relaxed and energized, but not wired. You feel like full of life, but relaxed.
Yeah, in a flow.
Yeah.
In a flow.
There you go. We'll have to find a way to get a video out so people can see what you were doing. But that was fun, and it only took a couple of minutes, which is all you need.
Yes,
And you're
sometimes
ready to
people
go.
can do it on their break at work. It's like you take your break. Ideally, we should not do these exercises just right after lunch, for instance. Ideally, I would not recommend. But there are no other side effects or things that we should care. Just do it and see how you feel. And you're gonna get hooked, because you're gonna think, oh my God, it feels good.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's easy. It's
It is.
easy.
It is. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm excited for women to start experiencing some of your magic. Where else, if people are like, oh, I want to know more about this woman. So we know you've got this amazing book coming out, and I will pop the link in the show notes so that people can order the book directly themselves. Are there any other places that women can come and work with you?
They just find me on Facebook, Andreea Prorokova, Andreea G. Prorokova. This is my profile. I have a website, theplayfulgoddess.com, which is in the making. I
Yay.
just I just felt that I need a little bit of time with the graphics just to settle a little bit, and because I'm going to feature the book. So the book is going to be on Amazon.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love
Yes,
that.
and I consider probably an audio version of the book as well, using my voice because as a 5'1" and as a person, like the voice is so important, and I speak about that. The coding of the voice, like we need to heal our voice so that people who resonate with our coding can resonate with us and receive our message. And many people, like one of the reasons women do not show up and have videos and have a visual presence online is because they don't like their voice. So this is one of the things that I do with them, because we do this sound healing, until they would say, well, I feel at home with my voice, but in the voice there is trauma. In the voice, there is hesitation. In the voice, there is all this shyness and shame, because this is one of the things connected with your work, healing the shame. So if you have that voice, which is like not full, you show up 20% of your voice, and the rest is a shivering, a tremoring, an hesitation. Like, no, you're not gonna. People will connect with your cognitive message, and they're gonna say, "Oh, that's good," but you're not going to create a deep connection with the right people,
Yes, I love
with the
that.
people who need our medicine. So it's nice to listen to a woman who has a grounded voice, of course, with all the nuances and particularities and uniqueness. That I think this is if I'm gonna like make a joke, this is the best selling trick. Using your voice proper, using your authentic proper voice, grounded voice, belly voice. Yeah.
From the womb.
Because,
Yes.
yes, not, of course, not in a manipulative way, as people do, like with all this body language and all these things, You feel that it's fake, you feel, because people are intuitive. But using, and first of all, tapping into that level, that depth of your voice, speaking from that space of truth and alignment from the belly, as I say, and of course from the heart as well, because it's going all up, from all the centers. Yeah. This is it. This is how you're gonna connect with the right people. You don't have to have a specific brand color or a specific trendy, I don't know what. This is
Just your
it.
voice. I love
Just your voice.
that.
Just your voice. Because, oh my God, when the right people are gonna listen to you, like how I listened to your podcast. I was curious, and I wanted to see your work. I wanted to check on your work, and it felt so good in my body. This is a very, very good example of it. Yeah. Like, yes, I want to connect with this being. I want to explore. I want to share. It feels good.
I
Yeah.
receive that. That makes me very happy. And I'm
And
glad that we've connected.
con- congratulations for your beautiful work. And I can see it expanding already. I can see it growing and becoming more and more seen and visible and touch thousands of lives.
Yes, this is the work. I'm showing up. I'm doing my work. My
Beautiful.
contribution. I love that. Thank you so much, lovely. And to wrap up your beautiful story, your beautiful wisdom, your beautiful insights, do you have any final words or a piece of wisdom that you really want women to know?
A piece of wisdom. I would say keep playing.
I would say that's a great piece of advice. We do not play enough, do we?
This is it, because Everything is in it. Creation is in it. Experimentation is in it. Engaging other people in it. Everything is in it. And everything happens during the play. Everything happens naturally in a flow, effortlessly. There is ease in the playfulness. There is the intention to discover more and more and more. Going on virgin lands.
Yes, I love this. All right, ladies, you heard it. Heard it here first. We've got to play more. And be sure to check out all of the ways that you can play more with Andreea. And make sure to grab her book when the book drops, which we're really excited to hear about. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for sharing your joy. Honestly, it just radiates through everything. And I'm just so grateful to be experiencing that today.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be with you, to share with you, to get to know your work and you, and looking forward to what magic we can create together in the future.
Yay! Thank you for being here, gorgeous woman, for rising with us, remembering with us, and refusing to shrink inside a world that benefits from your silence. If this episode moved you, cracked you open, or reminded you of who the hell you are becoming, share it with a woman who is ready to rise too. I want to invite you to follow, subscribe, and leave a rating so this message becomes too loud, too wild, and too undeniable to be ignored. The movement grows because of women like you. Women who choose truth over comfort, liberation over obedience, and voice over disappearance. You can connect with me, Samantha Sanford, at Rebel Matriarch, and all links to our guest are in the show notes below. Until next time, stay rooted, stay rebellious, and remember, the world changes when women refuse to disappear.